Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Orlando Santiago and I'm here today with my model Elina. And today we're going to actually talk about how to create a smoky eye, but from sexy and sultry to sidewalk to social, right? Anything in New York, kind of a downtown, or that transitions into a restaurant or to a gala, it doesn't matter. But there's a way that we're going to do it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to layer makeup, right? So I purposely didn't do anything on the canvas. I didn't touch her skin much, right? I didn't do anything on the brows because it all kind of ties in and it's in sequential order. So when you're going to do an elaborate eye, I really think that you should focus on the eye first, and then you can go back and kind of work with everything else around it. All right. So Elina, beautiful girl, right? Ooh, hey. All right, I love it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look at all the characteristics. Brow, right? Nice strong brow. I love it. She does have a little bit of a darker down here, but I kind of like that. I think that's part of the look. I'm going to build off of that, and everything I'm putting, it's going to be darker anyway. So it makes no sense for me to go ahead and clean it all up when I'm going to go back and put something even darker on the lid, right? So let's start off by grabbing and kind of creating whatever it is that we want to start with. So I like working with creams, and I think we've already established that. If you've seen any of my videos, you'll see that I love layering product. I think the effect is much more, I guess, better, and the texture is better once you start off layering products, starting off with creams, layering with beautiful eyeshadow over, right? So it makes sense to go ahead and do that. So with Elina, I think I'm going to go ahead and once again go back to my palettes of creams to start to layer product, layer some of the golds and the textures that I really want to see. So I'm going to grab a little bit of some gold, okay, all right. And I'm going to fuse in some browns. So automatically that really changed the game. Now when working with smoky eye, see that became like a bronze. I can add a little bit of black in there, not too much, but I just want to deepen it just enough. Okay. But the cool thing about this is that, again, we're in control and I can show you how to create and manipulate product and color. So what I'll do now is add a little bit of some aqua seal, a drop, okay? And I'm going to use a really soft brush, okay? And what I mean by soft brush is basically somewhat of a crease brush, right? A brush that you can actually play around with, layer, and that's going to grab the pigment really well. So I'm going to start off at the lash line and really create from lash line to crease. And I'm just going to start to build it. As you can see there, it's like a black gold. Open. Yeah, so it's really dark, really beautiful, but it has beautiful texture. And again, it's cream, so it's going to do whatever you want it to do. Have fun with it. If you want to extend it a little further, meaning just extending out here, then do it. You notice usually I do the brows first, but in this case, because it's a smoky eye, I'm going to let my eye determine how soft my brows should be. She already has full brows, she has a lot of hair, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with the eye and the texture first and work backwards a little bit. And this is only because the eye is so dramatic that I can't really let anything else dictate the eye. The eye kind of dictates everything else. So switching brushes, I'm going to go to something a little smaller and look up. And I'm going to work it underneath. And now a smoky eye doesn't have to always be black, right? Most people think smoky has to be black, and it doesn't. It can be brown. All the really well-known, I guess, iconic artists and celebrities, usually when you look at their eye makeup and when it looks really rich, it's typically usually more brown than it is black. It's just that black at the inside of the rim is usually what gives them the illusion that it's actually darker than what it really is. But we all know that black, once you have on black, it's really hard to do anything else. All right, great. So you notice it's not too dark, right? So I'm going to work with that texture. It's kind of like a darker, it's not quite green, it's brown, but it's metallic. I really like it. It's coming along nicely. So, and that's just cream, and that's your cream color base. That's your base shadow. And then we're going to apply pigment and powder shadows over this, just to kind of reinforce that and punch it up just a bit, okay? So now I'm going to switch a brush over to just another smaller brush, right? A little bit more detailed. And I'm gonna pack on the colors that I wanna go over this. Now is when I can start playing around with some of the black, but as a shadow, because we have browns there, so I can probably work with a little bit of this black here, right? And a little bit of the gold. Close. So now we're moving on. I'm gonna use that same color and just pack it on, right? So just taking off the excess and really working this in. Now I'm going back with the gold and just pressing it in just to create more texture. Love it, okay? It's dark and mysterious, but not too much. Now I'm gonna switch a brush again, going a little bit smaller. All right, just going right underneath and working that in. Okay, some more of that taupe. See, okay, so now here's the thing. So now you wanna start to make sure that your shape is symmetrical, right? And everything is coming along great. I love the texture. And also here, I'm actually raising this a little bit higher than most. I know most people like to show a little brow. In this case, no, not too much. I don't want to show the brow bone so much because I'm going to go back and sketch in some hair and actually lighten her hair just a bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch over to a cream liner. And what I need to do with this cream liner is I need to add it in to the base of the smoky eye. So right at the lash line, right around here, I'm going to kind of just pop in some color, right? Some of that black, just to really give it some more depth. Open. Okay. Like that way. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that black and I'm just infusing it into color, right? Let's see. Beautiful. So you see how it just got darker. Love it. Really working so you can see the difference between one eye and the other. I love that, right? A lot of fun there. Super sexy. We're gonna clean up everything else. However, right now I'm focusing on the intensity of that eye. All right, so now that I'm done with that other eye, I'm going to really focus on now bringing in one last color again, and that's just a soft brown to kind of tie in the black, okay? So everything is a gradation of color. So if you don't want to just have a color, then a black, if you mesh it together, the black's going to overpower. So what you want to do is you always want to get that in between color, but add it later. So if I have that dark green and sultry, right, then I have the black liner kind of on the rim. If I go back with a soft brown, now I have black, brown, and then a smoky green or blue or whatever you want, right? So I'm going to look up. I'm going to work in that soft brown that's going to tie everything in together. Okay, and now adding some of that depth into the crease and slightly above. And this is where I'm going to have a little fun. This is where I can take her brows and either work them in later, or I can actually make them disappear. Meaning and soften them and make them a lot lighter. So I'm framing this just a little bit differently than I do all smoky eyes. I'm actually going, like I said, into the brow and kind of really making this a little exaggerated, but still really pretty. I'm taking this color, this soft brown, and if you notice, I'm going slightly above and into the brow, right? Just kind of framing it. Beautiful. So now everything has depth. Right? I love that. There's a lot of dimension and texture. Again, that's my style, right? So I feel like we can add a little bit of pigment. Let's have fun with this pigment. This pigment is, it's called Lucky Penny. It's definitely a very, very copper, Super amazing, right? I'm gonna add a little aqua seal into it. And now I'm working this into the tear ducts. Super strong, I love it. Okay, so now it's time to erase, right? Now we need to go back and clean the canvas. Why? So that everything can be focused on the eye area. So what I am gonna do is comb her brows. We didn't work with the brows yet, right, on purpose. However, I'm just gonna comb them in. Again, the attention shouldn't be too much to the brow, but I do wanna see some. So what I'm gonna do is just sketch in a few hairs and make it as if it's part of the eyeshadow, right? As long as you got a good shape. Brush them up and out. I kind of like them a little bit bushy and kind of full. And again, I'm not trying to be real strategic as far as shape. I'm just trying to make sure that they look full. Eyes are almost done. Last thing we're gonna do is mascara. And with the mascara, once again, I'm gonna go really heavy. I wouldn't put false lashes on this, right? Because the eyes are so dark, you're not gonna see them. You're not gonna see them. So you will see mascara, but you won't see false lashes. Don't be afraid to saturate the lashes here. Really work them up. The messy, the better. But as long as they have a structure, they can have a lot, but I love seeing lashes that are strong and kind of spiked out, especially with a good smoky eye. Oops, I made a mistake here. Okay, just press it out, it's not a big deal. And now you can go back and go vertical. You see how I'm going vertical to kind of spike out each and every lash, like that way. Right, there you go. And now I'm going to the bottom. I'm just tapping. You want to tap. Love it. Super strong. Look straight. Super strong. Super high-end. Very sexy. Very sultry. I like it. I didn't do any complexion on purpose. I didn't do anything else. No cheeks, no lips, right? Just so we could focus on how we got here to the eyes. First, I started off with cream shadow, right, that I created. That was brown with texture and a little bit of gold, right? Then I went back over with actual eyeshadow that had texture, just to kind of revisit that and kind of emphasize and reinforce that color. Then I went back and used a little bit of the cream gel liner just to throw it inside the waterline and around the rim of the eye just to create that intensity, and that's where the sultry part comes in. Lastly, I went ahead and used the mascara. With the mascara, you actually can go back, and of course, I was a little stronger with the mascara because I do want to see those lashes that are a little bit spiky, a little bit more daring, a little bolder, right? A little bit more isolated, okay? So cool, so we're pretty much done there. So thank you guys for tuning into this particular segment of a very New York, downtown, sexy, sultry, smoky eye. But stay tuned because we're gonna have more videos as to how to put this look completely together with some cheeks, some complexion, and some lips. Take care.